Hi, my name's Darren and welcome to my kitchen. And today you're going to come into my home and we're going to do a risotto. Today we're going to do a 3 cheese, cream leek and pea risotto. Finished with some zucchini flowers and micro herbs and just a little bit of parmesan oil. Okay, so let's start. We're going to do a vegetable stock. We make all different stocks in the restaurant. So because this is a vegetarian, we're going to start with a vegetable stock. So I just bring the water slowly up to the boil, and we just have some nice button mushrooms. You can use skimming trimmings of button mushrooms. Roughly chop all the vegetables. So we're going to have mushrooms, we're going to have onion, carrot, a little bit of fennel, and then we're going to add some aromatics to it, like some juniper berries, cardamom pods, cinnamon. So we're going to have 2 onions, 2 carrots, there's about 100 grams worth of button mushrooms. We're going to add some herbs just at the end. I usually like to add some basil, some chervil, and a little bit of rosemary and some thyme as well. And we have some carrots. We'll just peel the carrots. Like I say, it's only a stock. I'm going to be passing the liquid off. This vegetable stock, usually you can put it on for half an hour, it just depends how strong you want the flavour. I want a light vegetable flavour, okay? Also, you have some leeks. With the leeks, always wash your leeks because you get a lot of dirt goes in the actual grooves down there. So I've washed these leeks thoroughly, so they can just get chopped. I love flavour of leeks. It adds a good flavour and texture as well. And also we've got a fennel bulb. This is a large fennel. So you can just in half. I use a lot of fennel in the restaurant, really good. It's got that kind of anise kind of flavour to it. Okay, so I'll just throw them in. And so what we'll do is we'll just place this into the pot. Okay, it's probably that'll probably make about 4 litres of stock, and then I'll just add a little sprig of rosemary, quite strong rosemary. We'll just break it up. Okay, and then we have our spices that we have here that we're going to put in. So just a pinch of juniper berry, a pinch of cardamom pods, 2 star anise, and I'll just get 1 cinnamon clove, and just a pinch of fennel seeds. Okay, and then we'll just stir that. And then we'll bring that up to the boil and we'll let that cook for around about anywhere from an hour, half an hour to an hour. If you like to get really strong, you can take about 2 hours. But the idea is you don't want to overcook all that vegetable so all the nutrients comes out of it, because if you just cook it and cook it and cook it, you're just going to lose all that flavour out of the actual vegetable. So you want to actually bring the vegetable up till it's just cooked, and then basically we'll pass it off. If you wanted to make it stronger, you can always just put it in a pot and reduce it down a little bit further. Okay, so we'll let that go for a little while, and then we'll get everything else ready for the risotto. Welcome back. So this is what we've got here. This has been going for about half an hour. So what we'll do, I've prepared some earlier. What I've done before, I've passed it, and this is what it should look like. It's if you guys were here, you could smell the aromatics have come through. Nice vegetable flavour, a little bit sweet. The butter mushrooms in there, the thyme, you can taste the rosemary. I'll be using this stock into the risotto. So how we're going to do the risotto? We need to make the base first. The base takes around about 15 to 20 minutes. All I'm going to do is around about 200 grams of risotto rice, to 1 onion and 3 cloves of garlic. You don't have to have the garlic, but you could put anything in it. You could put, instead of using onion, you could use shallots. You could put celery and carrot through your risotto as well, but I'm just going to do the base first. So with the base, 1 onion, 3 cloves of garlic to around about 200 grams of risotto rice, which will take around about, say, 2 litres of stock. And then basically near the end, we'll finish it with our peas, our cream leeks, the Persian feta that we have here, and we'll put some nice grana, parmesan on it, and we'll finish it with a little bit of pecorino, some zucchini flowers, and we'll garnish it with some micro herbs. Okay, let's start going with the risotto. I'm just going to use a I don't know, a smallish kind of pot. In the restaurant, when we do big batches, we use a big pot and we'll cool it on a tray, and then we just do it little pieces at a time. But just for you guys today at home, you don't need to do a lot. This will serve around about, I'd say, 6 people, the amount I'm going to make for you guys today. I don't use butter to start my risottos, I just use olive oil. Okay, so a nice fair amount of olive oil in there. Don't get your pot too hot, because what you want to do is you want to sweat off your onions and your garlic with no colour. You want to keep it nice and white. If it looks like your pan's getting too hot, all you need to do is just adjust your heat or just slide it away until you're ready. Okay? Okay, so we're just going to get our onion. Okay, so we're just going to finally chop our onion with your fingers. I've had many of my apprentices cutting their fingers doing it this way. Okay, just into 3. Okay. Same with if you've got any scraps left over as well, you can always add them to your stock. So that's getting a little bit hot now. So just slide that aside. You want it quite fine, the onion. You don't want to have it too chunky through the risotto. Okay, that goes in there. With your garlic, finally chop your garlic as well. If you are ever at a kitchen shop, I think they have them at Bundle, or most kitchen shops these days. They're quite well known. They're called a microplane. You can use it for your parmesan, or you can use it for your anything. So, but if you don't like chopping garlic, you can always get your microplane and just grate it. So that's quite a handy hint to use as well. So you just, okay, so there you go, and then your garlic's really fine. Okay, so we'll just add that to there. Okay, so as we're doing this, we're chopping the onions quite fine, and what we're going to do is we're just going to sweat them off in the olive oil. Okay, we don't want to have any colour, and we want the onions to go translucent. I learned a lot of making risotto. I thought when I was doing my apprenticeship, you know, in the day, when I was a young apprentice, putting in all the hours as well, I thought I could make risotto rice until I went to England and I worked at River Cafe. They do risotto rice totally different there. I used to think it was really gluggy and, you know, heaps of cheese, but here, the way I'm going to show you today, this is more of a wetter kind of a risotto rice. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm a more of the risotto coating the plate than making a pile of risotto. And it's all about the flavour and how you finish the risotto as well. And that's the most important piece. And a lot of people and a lot of restaurants I've been to, they just don't, the risotto's nice, but they just don't finish it as well as they should. So, but everyone's got different tastes and different ways. But I love doing risotto, and I've always got risotto on the menu here. Either lunch, I do a risotto with sweet corn and crab at the moment, and it just walks out the door. And I do a quail risotto, where I do a porcini mushroom and finish it with a little bit of truffle oil, and and just so many. As soon as you know how to do the base, you can put so many ingredients in it. So most people are using a Boreo rice. I use a Vaglione. I'm not Italian, so I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's in a yellow bag with red writing. You can buy it at most delis. Basically, what it is, it's a finer grain kind of risotto rice. The Boreo is quite big. If you can see this, it's quite small. Little grains of rice. So yeah, we're going to use around about 200 grams of this, but I've been using this risotto rice for 9 years and it's always worked for me. So get out there and try and buy Vaglione rice. So that's the Italian coming out of me again. Rightio, so anyway, what we'll do is we'll just add the rice. What we're going to do now is we're going to coat the rice with the onions. So about 200 grams, I mean a sprinkle, okay? Same thing again, don't have it on a high heat. And we're just going to sweat the risotto of the rice in the olive oil and coat it with the onions just to warm the rice a little bit. Because if you add the hot stock, which is boiling here, as you can see, you always use boiling stock when you make risotto rice. Always. Don't use cold because it takes too long. What you want to do is cook the rice, get it done and finish it. You don't want it to like come up to the boil. You just want to have hot rice to hot risotto. Hot liquid to hot risotto rice. Okay, so I've just sweated that off for about a minute or so. Okay, so we've just sweated off the rice for about 2 minutes in there. The idea is that you sweat the rice off, so when the hot liquid hits the rice, it doesn't crack the rice. That's very important. A lot of chefs don't do that. They just add the stock to it and then they add their rice. So you need to sweat your rice off. So all I'm doing now is I'm just adding about 2 ladles at a time. Okay? And then I'm just mixing the rice in. I don't want a lot of liquid in there. I just want it just to cover the risotto, the rice, that's your grain. So I'll just turn that up just a little bit. Okay, and as you can see, it's starting to simmer. Okay, and the idea with risotto is when the liquid disintegrates or is gone into the rice, you add some more liquid, and then a little bit more liquid, and then a little bit more liquid. This takes around about 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, just depending on how fast you actually do the rice. As you can see, the risotto rice needs more liquid, and you can see the rice is starting to take on that cook, and it's getting a little bit lighter and a bit more. Oh, it's probably doubling in size. You know what I mean? So, and I've just added 1 more ladle of the stock. Okay, and then this will take about another 2 minutes, another 3 minutes. While you're doing that, I mean, you can see my vegetable stock coming here. In the restaurant, we'd probably just skim it, just to take off all those fats that are coming out of the vegetables, or just the skimmings. So we'll just grab a bowl, add to that. Okay, and then we'll add another ladle of this stock. If you were here, you could just smell you can smell the cinnamon coming from this now, and the mushrooms and the cardamom, because this has been on for about 40 minutes now, and it's really starting to take on all those flavours of the vegetables. Like I say, we do chicken stock in the restaurant as well, but just because this risotto is a vegetarian, we're just doing a vegetable stock. We make a lot of vegetable stock for our sauces as well, and also we do veal stock as well, which makes the actual, the red wine sauces and the Madeira sauces and the port wine sauces we make here. I mean, this is what I'm saying. A lot of the restaurateurs that come into the restaurant, they don't actually understand how much preparation there is to actually put this on the plate. Yeah, like I was saying, I had a customer in a couple of weeks ago that complained that his risotto was a peasant size, and yeah, to that guy out there, if he's watching, you can actually see how much effort does go into this risotto. And my guys work, they start at 8 o'clock in the morning and they're finishing at midnight. So anyway, this has been going for about another 10 minutes now. I reckon it's got about another 5 minutes to go, so we'll just get another ladle. Don't be worried if you still got some stock left over. That's probably a good sign, because you need some stock. Because what I'll do is, in the restaurant, how we do it here, we'll cook it to about 3/4, and then we'll cool it down on a tray, and that's what I'll show for you. If you guys are going to do this for a dinner party, you can make this risotto in the morning, and then your guests turn up, you have a glass of wine with them, and then you go into your little kitchen, and then what I'll do is I'll show you how we finish it. Yeah, so it doesn't take that long at all. You can do the preparation during the day, and then when your guests come, have a glass of wine with them, just mingle, and then when it's time to serve, it'll probably take about 5 minutes. So that's why it's so easy to have a risotto on your menu. And a lot of people have asked me, how do you cook risotto? What's the best rice? So that's why you're here watching this today. And yeah, the recipe will be up on the website probably in the next